Today's episode is sponsored by the American Homebrewers Association. Become a part of the U.S.'s largest community of homebrewers for just $48 a year by going to unitedwedrink.com/AHA. What exactly do you get with your AHA membership? How about a year-long subscription to Zymurgy magazine, the world's longest-running homebrew magazine? Exclusive deals and discounts at over 2,000 breweries, bars, and bottle shops across America. Discounts on Brewers publication books and merchandise. Access to a huge library of previous HomebrewCon seminars and talks. And early access to purchasing tickets to each year's Great American Beer Festival and Savor. Sign up now by going to unitedwedrink.com/AHA and get a year's membership for just $48. And if you sign up now, you'll get a free gift. What's that gift? I'm not saying. You need to go see for yourself. It's pretty great. Support United We Drink, support homebrewing, and support the American Homebrewers Association at unitedwedrink.com/AHA. The opinions and statements in this podcast do not represent those of the host's employers, co-workers, family, or imaginary friends. Now enjoy the show.
Happy hour? More like amateur hour. Welcome to United We Drink.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special holiday episode of United We Drink right here on unitedwedrink.com, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever fine podcasts are found. We've decked the halls with boughs of holly. We don't have joy to the world yet. And some of you are probably going to have a white Christmas, so that's pretty awesome. And I am Mike Urevich, and I am joined here by my not elf, Joel Codner.
I don't know what that means, but
didn't want to make a
Santa.
I didn't want to make a short joke, but I did make a short joke. I think all in one.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. The day we're recording this, I'm 38 now. We, of course, do not have Phil with us any longer. He's alive, but he's no longer on the podcast. If you didn't tune in to the live stream, or you didn't see the tweets or the blog post on the website, Phil's decided to step away from the show for the time being to focus a little more on just work and family life and things like that, things that we certainly can't blame a man for. And we hope that all continues to go well for him and that he has a great holiday himself. And I'm sure he'll be back on the show from time to time and can fill us in on IRI stuff that we don't really understand.
Yeah, no more talk of FMBs. I guess the show is going to be a little less seltzerific, if you will.
I don't know.
I'll have to make up for it on my end.
You're definitely in Team Seltzer. I would say firmly in that team. So I don't think that it's gone forever.
I had a horrible seltzer last night.
Oh,
Bon Viv coconut pineapple.
That just
Tastes
sounds
like
terrible.
I mean, I've had some pina colada seltzers that were terrific. I think it was one from Denizens. I had another prototype from a series that we should be seeing soon. But this one, my God. And they had like a pear elderflower in that mixed six-pack that I really enjoyed. I thought it came across almost like a seltzer cider with that pear. But holy shit, this was the worst seltzer I've ever had in my life. This coconut pineapple. It tastes like a bottle of tanning lotion in someone's ass.
Some good, strong descriptors there on that one. But coconut is such a weird flavor in booze because the right amount can be really candy-like, and like when mixed with like maybe chocolate or vanilla, can really taste like an Almond Joy, or I'm sorry, a Mounds rather, and be really delicious. But man, going overboard on that stuff or using the wrong extract, and yeah, that sunscreen fucking bullshit can be way too much.
Yeah, that's why I always use toasted, shredded coconut that I would steep in a brink. But I mean, obviously, you can't do that in this shit at that volume.
Yeah. I just don't understand like the sensory on that, to where they test that out probably so much, and it was like, yeah, this is good. Let's send this out. Let's mass produce this and send this out.
I mean, it's less understandable for a company of that size, but I think about that kind of thing all the time when I try things, and it's not just related to beer. I mean, it could be food. It could be... I mean, I remember watching Batman versus Superman, and I was like, how the fuck did no one, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people involved in that production, not stop and go, we're spending how much on this, and this is what we've got?
Yeah, I know that I've said that about a number of television shows and movies before, or just like simple storyline execution that's like, who allowed that to happen or not happen? Like, you're missing something here. But yeah, I guess it all runs into food and beverage, and your the rose-colored tinted glasses translate across all industries. Joel, what are you drinking tonight as we record on this fine Sunday evening?
Well, Team Coffee Beer is back. I've got Coffee Liquid Spiritual Delight, the Imperial Stout with coffee from our good dear friends at Second Shift Brewing. Thank you, Libby, and everyone over there for this. I mean, this is just a fantastic coffee beer. Man, I wish I knew more about the coffee. I guess it's from Blueprint Coffee. I'd like to know a little bit more about the origin. I'll reach out and find out. It's such a good beer, and it's so well balanced. It's thick, as the kids say, THICC, but not that cloyingly sweet, under attenuated bullshit. I mean, it's just a very well made, balanced, tasty coffee beer. Perfect for a winter's night in South Florida.
We've had some cool days in the past couple weeks. And looks like our Christmas, at least in the West Palm area, going to be like 61 as a high.
And here's Mike with the weather.
And then we'll have more of that at 11. And I'm having a Maine lunch. I was at the liquor store yesterday, saw some bottles of Lunch and Peeper there, looked at the bottled on date, less than a month old, 3 weeks, I think yeah. And I was like, sure, I'll have this. It's been a while since I've had one. And it's such a wonderful beer. It's this hybrid, like hazy West Coast IPA. Because it's hazy-ish looking. And it's got that soft body and mouthfeel, but citrusy, piney, a good bit of bitterness, dry on the finish. It's so lovely.
They do such an incredible job with hoppy beers. I completely neglected to get over the store after you told me and Phil about that. So I'm hopeful that there will be some tomorrow. I'll probably try to swing by over there. I mean, what was the one they had a few months back? I think it was right around the time of the Allagash drop.
Oh, shit, I can't remember. I remember you grabbed the bottle of it, and I can't.
I don't
for
remember the
life of me
name.
remember.
And I love how their branding is so minimalist and there's no crazy bullshit around it. And that's hopefully, unfortunately, like not why, I can't remember, but I like the subtlety. The fucking beer speaks for itself. You know what I mean? They don't have to put Captain Crunch on the label or any of that bullshit. And that's a good thing to me. Like right now, I'm thinking about the beer. I'm not thinking about all the crazy branding behind it or the neon can or the beer glowing under a black light. I just remember it being a fantastic beer.
Was it another one?
No.
A tiny, beautiful something.
No.
Okay.
I feel like it was one of those one word beers. I could be wrong. Which one is Peeper?
Peeper is a pale ale.
That might have been it.
Okay. Because I thought you had got another one, but whatever. Yeah,
Great stuff.
I've never had dinner. Had an opportunity to have it when I lived in Philly, and I just kind of passed up the opportunity, and it was my fault. But man, lunch is just so damn good. So we have decided for this episode that we are going to, it's Christmas time. Let's talk about Christmas time and some of the beers that we enjoy having around Christmas and on Christmas and even the holidays in general, because New Year's is coming up. We're not going to have an episode before New Year's, so we might as well talk about that too. You know, being in South Florida, we don't have the true winter that maybe a number of you out there are having. A lot of you have had snow already, and that is kind of cool to me, and I guess depends on who you ask as to whether or not that's cool. So in a climate that is barely ever goes below maybe 60 during the day during the winter, to places that are in the teens or even single digits during the winter. This might sound weird as to what we like to have, but you know, it varies from place to place. Let us know on Twitter what you like to have during the holidays. One thing that I know my wife and I have kind of gotten into the habit of doing, and maybe you could even say tradition of doing, is having like a big barrel-aged imperial stout on Christmas morning when we get together and open presents. We actually have, for the past couple years, done the same beer, and this year we thought we weren't going to be able to do it because I didn't see it at the store yesterday. We went to a different store today and found it's in a different format this year, so that's why I didn't notice it. We really like the Willetized Imperial Stout from Lagunitas, which is their Imperial, I think it's the Imperial Coffee Stout that's aged in Willet rye barrels. And it's such a fantastic beer. And they went from 22-ounce bombers into a 4-pack of 12-ounce bottles this year. So we picked up a 4-pack of that. And we always enjoy having that on Christmas morning. Anything spring to mind for you, a tradition or just something that you like, Joel?
I don't have that kind of mainstay thing that I do every year, really outside of Sierra Nevada Celebration, which, you know, at this point is weeks old and we're a week, you know, less than a week away from Christmas. I feel like that's kind of an early December drop or maybe late November. But that is probably the one thing I remember having all the time, you know, throughout the years during this month, especially toward Christmas.
It's practically out of stock down here now.
Right. And I don't know if, you know, we got less this year, but it definitely felt less prevalent than normal. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we were trying to get it on that last episode. I ended up drinking pale ale, which, holy shit, if you haven't had pale ale in a while, man, you gotta get on that. It's it's perfect. But
It is.
you know, with this time of year, hopefully it's cooler in South Florida. The past couple of days have been absolutely lovely here. If they were like this every day, I wouldn't want to leave. I mean, the weather is still not going to change some of the people here, but maybe the less humidity will chill people out a little bit. But you know, I'm normally nursing some kind of imperial stout or coffee stout, like I'm doing tonight. A lot of times on like Christmas Eves, or what I would do is like a Christmas Eve or a New Year's beer in lieu of champagne, which I'm not crazy about. I would go for something like one of those old large format, New Glarus, like a Serendipity,
Oh, yeah.
or what's the other beer? Oh
Uh,
God, they've
Belgian Red and
yep.
why can't I think of it? It's like my favorite one out of them too.
The fruit one.
Yeah. Oh, there's
I feel like
people
you and I
getting
are so
raspberry tart. That's it.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. Oh man, I feel like you and I are so burnt out tonight.
And they make raspberry tart and Belgian Red year round now.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's and you know, even something like Lindemann's Framboise feels like kind of a celebratory bottle without being champagne.
Lindemann's Cuvée René Goose.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. And you know, normally when I'm in those situations where someone's popping some sort of holiday celebratory bottle or a New Year's Eve situation, usually it's some cheaper, shittier champagne like Corbel or something. So, you know, it'll get you through that New Year's Eve toast, but you don't want to keep drinking it because you're just going to feel like dog shit, especially the next day.
Yeah.
I do miss the High Life champagne bottle. Florida did not get any this year. I'll have to write a strongly worded letter to corporate on that one.
Send it
I don't
over
know
to
why
Peter
we didn't.
Frost.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll just pour regular High Life bottles, which are on sale this week, $11.99 for the 8-pack at Publix. Maybe I'll just pour those into a nice little champagne flute. No one will be the wiser.
18-pack?
What did I say?
8-pack.
Like I said, I'm burnt out. But
Pour
yeah,
a bunch of those into an empty champagne bottle.
That'll work, and I'll saber it just for the effect. But I don't get too much into the winter lagers. I don't get too much into some of the mixed 6-packs, and we've noticed that some of the not mixed 6-packs, the mixed 12-packs, from some of the bigger breweries. They who was it that had the coffee porter? Was that Sierra or Sam?
I don't recall that being Sam's pack. They done goofed.
Chocolate Bach, wasn't that in there?
They had Chocolate Bach, Holiday Porter, and Old Fezziwig that was almost always in there. But they dropped Old Fezziwig this year.
Yeah, I know. I think it was like some kind of taproom only bullshit. But yeah, I don't really have that consistency when it comes to the seasonals, but typically it's just within the range of an imperial stout of some sort. Usually I'll have something that's treated with coffee. Still have some Expedition in my fridge, which is always great this time of year. I'm always opening one of those. I feel like even though it's still warm down here, I try to mimic how I would be drinking if I were up in the cold somewhere, and I'm usually cracking an Expedition, any sort of tasty imperial stout, especially with coffee, like I said. And then I'm also drinking a lot of Evan Williams eggnog out of my Christmas Vacation Marty Moose glass.
I was just gonna ask you if you're an eggnog guy. I am not.
I never was until the past few years.
What are your feelings on coquitos?
I don't entirely know what that is.
It's considered a Puerto Rican eggnog, but it is rum, condensed milk, coconut, cream of coconut, coconut milk, evaporated milk, and then like nutmeg, cinnamon, vanilla. Those when made right are fucking delicious. My coworker made some, and it was incredible. I really like it a lot. That's a drink that uses coconut in the right fashion and doesn't make it taste like suntan lotion.
So are you saying it's like a coconut eggnog, basically?
Some people call it a Puerto Rican eggnog, but I think other than just consistency and look, it's not really eggnog.
Okay.
But just it looks like eggnog, and it's got that same kind of consistency as it. It's a very creamy, full-bodied type of drink.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I'm drinking that kind of thing, and shout out to our friend Adam, he was the one who turned me on to the Evan Williams eggnog. Eggnog always sounded gross to me. Just the word egg, I feel like if I were to heat it up, it would be scrambled and curdled. So I think if it were just called nog, it would almost sound a little more appealing. Like when old timers talk about egg creams, I would go to the soda fountain and get an egg cream. That sounds horrible to me too. It sounds like some sort of egg milkshake thing. But
nog sounds like something that fucking high schoolers say nowadays. Yo, you want some nog, bro?
Oh God, it's the worst when they call chicken nuggets nugs.
I call my dog
but anyway.
that.
Shout out to Nugget. But yeah, Adam turned me on to the Evan Williams eggnog, and it was one of those things that I always felt like I was missing out on. It was one of those traditions that was just never a part of my family. No, it was never around. I never saw it. I was never around it, so I just never experienced it. And then Adam, turned me on to the Evan Williams eggnog, and I've been drinking it for the past few years, only out of my Marty Moose glass, which does not nearly have, it has like a shot glass capacity.
You need the big one.
Is there one?
Yeah. Seen it
I'm
at
not
Total
talking,
Wine.
No,
Little
I'm not
ones
talking
and the big one.
I'm not talking about the Marty Moose shot glass. I'm saying the full-size Marty Moose glass. Like, if you look at the one in the movie, it's not the same. It has a little bit more volume to it. I have the actual full-size Marty Moose glass, but it feels like it's only a 3 or 4 ounce glass that I'm constantly refilling. And my issue with eggnog is it's a little thick, and, if I drink it doesn't really taste like alcohol to me, and that's one of those things that, you don't want to be throwing up. You gotta pace yourself, because that's... There's a very fine line of enjoying it and then you've drank too much and you're going to get sick. Because usually the desserts and the food and all of that kind of stuff is around at the same time. And you don't want to be washing down your Christmas ham with a pint of thick, creamy eggnog.
Where? There is a big one. I know that for sure. I'm trying to find it.
There's so much merch
100
now.
136 ounce one.
What?
Yeah.
That's a punch bowl.
Yeah. That's
okay, so that's the Marty Moose punch bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I remember before they licensed the shit out of all of this stuff, you would have to go on eBay and find the knockoff Marty Moose glassware, and it was $25 a glass or something, some crazy shit. And now there's an entire aisle at Kohl's full of, Clark Griswold pajamas and, leg lamp keychains, and they've just commercialized the fuck out of all these movies.
Oh, yeah.
There's a really cool inflatable Christmas Vacation family truckster car with the tree on top of it for your lawn decorations, which is funny because he's got a fucking Ford Taurus wagon or something in Christmas Vacation. He doesn't have the truckster anymore. But that's, it's one of those giant, it's a 7-foot long inflatable that goes on your lawn. And I'm all for it. I love Christmas Vacation, but some of it's a little lame. I saw these Clark Griswold PJs at Walmart tonight and it said, "Don't hog the nog." And I'm like, that's not even a line from the movie. Like you could have said a million things.
I also like that you've name dropped 2 big name department stores during this too.
Hey, you got to shop local.
And of course, you know all the lines. You know, like that's not a line. Not even a second thought. Like, wait, is it? You're no, not a line.
No, if you're going to take from the movie, I mean, there's 1,000 quotable lines. Why wouldn't you have a line of like, Randy Quaid Depends that say "Merry Christmas, shitter's full"?
Because then they wouldn't be selling them at those retailers that you named.
Maybe not.
It's, like you said before, celebration is definitely one that I enjoy having leading up to things. I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the last episode of the podcast or on the live stream, but like my wife and I, we like to do like a boozy advent calendar every year, and because of pandemic times, things are a little weird, and for some reason, so many of these boozy advent calendars come from the UK. Why? I don't know. Because it's pretty much they buy bulk booze, put them into smaller containers, and then ship them back to people in the United States. And they're like hundreds of dollars plus international shipping. We've done it before for a whiskey advent calendar, and it was a lot of fun. But when we were looking into stuff like that this year, almost no one's shipping to the U.S., rightfully so. And we decided, you know what? Let's make our own little advent calendar. So we went to the liquor store and we just went to the airplane bottle section, and we each picked out 12, some ones that we're serious about, some silly ones. We have these little kind of sack bags that my wife just happened to have that we were able to put them in, and then just each day go and randomly pick one, and that's our advent calendar for the year. And it's been kind of fun to see that people on Twitter, because I've been posting them and like threading it all together, have been like, wow, that's like a great idea. Like, going to try that next year. I like our friends over at Olympic Tavern in Rockford, Illinois, was like, I'm going to do that next year, but every day is going to be a little Malort bottle.
Oh, nice. Were they talking about doing it personally or like implementing it in their
no, just personally.
No, because I think that would cool. I think that would be cool. Either, I doubt you could get people to come out every single night for almost 4 straight weeks, but maybe if you put together a little gift set or something like that. I mean, it's funny how your advent calendar thread keeps popping up in my timeline. People seem really interested in it, and it keeps getting engagement. Sorry, I hate that word. It's such a social media guru douchebag word. Next thing I'll be talking about your branding, but no, I think it's a really cool idea. My wife is not into hard liquor as much. She likes her wines, so I think maybe I'll try to do some kind of wine thing next year, because I've been following along yours, and it seems really fun and interesting and a way to try new stuff. Or I could implement some sort of cocktail thing, where I'm making little martinis and things like that along the way next year. It sounds pretty cool. It looks fun.
We did the wine advent calendar from Aldi last year, and friend Adam actually got it for us as a gift, and it was fun. It became repetitive because there were a number of ones that repeated through it, but there were some pretty good wines through it. And we also did the cheese advent calendar from Aldi as well. We're doing that again this year. I'm going to have more to say about that later on in the show. But what one thing that I think that they should have done, and I don't know if they maybe do now, is they make the both advent calendars. They know where each item goes. They should have paired up the cheeses and the wines to where with like, so if you're doing both, the cheese goes with the wine for that day, like in a way that you would think would be pleasing. It didn't seem like they really thought that one out. But all these, like they have a beer advent calendar. They have they did a hard seltzer advent calendar that I sent you a link to like a month ago.
Shit. So much stuff that you sent, like not just you but everyone. They send me stuff and it's just, I look at it, I mark it as read. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to that later, and then then you remind me about it weeks later, like now. What size format would the hard seltzer be? Like a little 8-ounce can or something?
I don't remember. That would probably make sense. But for like the beers, I think we're doing 12-ounce cans, in them.
And the wine and cheese advent calendars are sold separately?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be smart marketing on their side if they, said, hey, get this with that, and they put them on the same display next to each other.
Yeah.
But obviously you're gonna get some people who are into the wine thing, and they may be dairy free or something like that.
Yeah.
So
then it doesn't matter, but I think it would be beneficial to them. They lose nothing for a person who only buys the cheese one or only buys the wine one. They have everything to gain from people who buy both, and
right.
to be able to make it to where they pair up correctly with like a right cheese that goes with a right wine. But I mentioned I like big imperial stouts on Christmas morning. I like Celebration. I like Old Fezziwig, R.I.P. for now. But I still like drinking a lot of my regular go-to beers through this, like having our West Coast IPA, High Ridge from Copper Point, still suits me quite nicely during these cooler days. Having a Pilsner, like a Crispy Boy Pilsner, still is wonderful on a cool day. I actually bought a 6-pack of Crooked Staves Von Pilsner because I remember I had that out in Colorado before and thought it was fantastic. Still is a fantastic beer, and I didn't even notice when I got it what the date code on it was. It's an almost 4-month-old Pilsner and still has a really nice hop bite to it. Crisp, clean, fucking easy drinking beer. Love it. And I'm not against having some of those beers that I think we would associate with the warmer weather during the cooler weather as well, because they're everyday beers. That's why they're year-round beers. They are perfect for pretty much any season.
Yeah, and I think in my case, as much as I love the holidays, I'm also just trying to get straight through them, and I'm trying to meticulously plan so many things. Like, I work pretty hard on getting my decorations outside right. We got like the most lights on the block, Clark Griswold style. Not 25,000 lights, but there are quite a few. And just that stress of everything. So when I'm sitting down throughout the holidays, there's the gift buying and the ordering of things and all that stuff. I'm trying not to take everything so seriously and be like, oh, I gotta have my winter seasonal, I gotta make sure I don't miss it. Yeah, I'm kind of perfectly content to just have a core brand kind of thing, like you just said. And I'm so stocked up on stuff already. I do want to go try to find that main beer you're talking about at the store, and I'll probably grab something that may be seasonal if it catches my eye, but I don't really have any go-tos. I do really enjoy seeing all of the liquor box sets when the holidays come around. I love seeing those in liquor stores. I almost never buy them, but they just look so fun. Like, doesn't matter what brand it is, there's always a cool little glass or something. And it almost makes me want to get them. I wish we would see more of them for like some of the higher end scotches and things that I like, but it's usually pretty standard stuff like Jack Daniels and Crown Royal and Kahlua and those brands. But every now and then you see like a really cool one and you're like, man, I should grab that shit. And they're usually very fairly priced as well.
Yeah. I got a couple of years ago a Woodford Reserve box that came with like a nice like etched rocks glass. And my wife actually bought not too long ago a Fernet box set that had like 2 glasses in it. They're like the long, the skinny, tall shooter glasses with like full wrap, full color printing on them that are really good. I hate Fernet, but I mean the glasses are really nice looking. But yeah, those boxes are really cool looking, though you got to pay attention to some of them. They're not a great deal. I actually saw one. I'm not going to name who the brand is, but they have 4, they're not they're like those smaller bottles, but they're not airplane bottles. They're like maybe a 350 or a 500 milliliter bottle. The price of those 4 bottles in that pack is more expensive than if you were to buy those 4 individual 500 milliliter bottles. I was like, ooh, that's because we almost did like bought some of those. I was like, no. Look at this. Like this, they're all this much times 4 is less than that box. And it didn't have a glass or anything in it. So got to keep your eye on some of them. They're not as great of a deal as you think, but when you add some glassware into there, you're almost always going to get me, because I'm in Glassware Anonymous constantly, relapsing into that.
Yeah, for sure. And usually in that case, you're not buying it for yourself. You're buying it for someone else, and it's more about the presentation than the price per ounce. What?
I'm buying it for myself.
But I think some of those things are just worth getting the glass. I mean, if you want to talk about glassware, I missed out on such a great holiday glass, and I'm so upset about it. There is an Arby's holiday snifter. I got an email from Arby's. I feel like I talked about this on the other thing.
I feel like you did too.
It looks like one of those Libby kind of snifter tulips, but it's got like the garland and the little red dots and the green and red stripes and the Arby's logo, and it's like footed. Only $10. You know, similar glassware from breweries is a lot more expensive and has less design on it. You know, this thing wraps all the way around the glass. They had all sorts of holiday merch for sale. I totally missed it. And what's funny is when I went to eBay to see if anybody had listed them, because the thing sold out like immediately, there's a whole bunch of Arby's holiday glassware from over the years. I had no idea. I thought it was only like Red Lobster doing one every year, like, you know, some of the old McDonald's glassware, but no, there's a ton of Arby's glassware out there. So I'm going to have to check out eBay after the holidays.
Your hashtag proper glassware have been pretty solid in the last couple months. I especially liked the Tom and Jerry, what was it, grape jelly?
Oh, the Welch's.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Welch's
when I
grape
saw
jam
that,
jar.
like, I just went back in time and I was like, holy fuck, I had those. Like, that was such a blast from the past.
That was at my in-laws' house. Maybe I should like steal it from them when we go over there for Christmas.
It's your Christmas gift to yourself via them. You had said something not too long ago that would have made a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about next, but then we got off track. I wanted to talk about the winter seasonal as a item, more general item, because I feel like the winter seasonal gets the short end of the stick from all the rest of the seasons. Now, we know seasonal creep, that's a thing. All like so many of these seasonals, they pop up like way before their time. But if we want to go by like when actual seasons are happening, let's take the fall seasonal, those pumpkin beers, your Oktoberfests and all of that. Oktoberfests tend to, of course, start dying off in popularity once November 1st hits and it is no longer October. Pumpkin beers have a little bit of a longer staying power, and other things with like fall seasonal like spices to them can usually last on the shelves and still sell well through Thanksgiving. And then people start wanting to think about their winter beers, celebrations coming out, anything, Anchor Christmas, anything that says anchor in it, or snow, or winter, or blah, 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 elves. And then after Christmas is over, the winter seasonal, no more fucks are given about them. And that's pretty much a month. Probably a little bit less depending on when Thanksgiving falls the month before. And I think that that's so sad, because some of my favorite seasonal beers have been from winter before, like Celebration, like Old Fezziwig, and the Holiday Porter from the Sam Adams variety packs. This is, from a consumer perspective, crazy. And then from a production standpoint, so annoying that you have this small window. Yeah, you can bring your winter beers come out sooner than that, but people aren't really in the mood just yet to talk about winter when it's not even winter. I mean, Christmas is only 5 days into technical winter when we want to get down to the nitty gritty. So why is it that the winter seasonal beer gets so shafted from the consumer market?
Well, I think it makes total sense to me. And one thing I really love about marketing and brand, God damn it, I said branding. One thing I love about it was, like when I was younger in school and I took some psychology classes, and they would briefly break down the psychology around how products are marketed, why they have certain colors for certain things, why they come out at certain times, why the breakfast cereal with the prize in it is eye level for the kids, and why all the Mucilix and the stuff you need to take a dump is up top, for the older adults. So that kind of stuff fascinates me, and I'm way into it. And I think when it comes to the winter stuff, it's about timing and psychology. So if you figure, it feels like the ease into fall takes so long. And you have to consider that the fall seasonal stuff, and it doesn't have to be just about beer, all of those products. The holidays kind of blend into each other because you've got November and you've got Christmas, and people are having their turkey and ham on Thanksgiving, and they're also having those things on Christmas. So some of those things kind of stay along for the ride throughout the couple months. And your fall seasonals, they come out and they're spiced, and they're sweet potato flavored and those things, and they're very related to the food. And then we get into the winter stuff. And the thing is, once that's over, we've hit New Year's, and now it's time for renewal. It's a time for starting over, starting fresh. People want to put last year behind them. And I think winter beers are just part of that. Even if your winter, which in so many places in the country now, due to climate change or whatever it is, some winters feel like they don't even start until February or March. I just feel like January 1st hits, people want to go to the gym, they want to start over, they want to start and I think it's going to be even bigger in 2021. But they want to put all of that shit, they've bought all the Christmas presents, they've had all the family gatherings, they've maxed out their credit cards. They want to put all that shit behind them and move on to the next thing. And, there's also dry January that a lot of people get into. So when it comes to the winter beers, I just feel like it's not necessarily anything personal against them. It's just, and look, you and I, we're from up north, and we always talk about missing winter and the seasons and snow and all that stuff, but there are people who can't stand that shit, and it's their least favorite part of the year. And there's the seasonal affective disorder, and gray skies bring people down. People want to look forward to spring and that season of renewal and put the past couple months behind them. So I really don't think it's anything about winter lagers or winter beers, and I think it just has everything to do with wanting to just move forward.
Hey, that's a pretty good point. Yeah, because seasonal depression and things like that is a very true thing, and kind of people are willing to deal with some of the cold and the snow and all of that when there's lights all over the place and cheery music being played and all of that. But once those lights and tinsel are taken down, you still have January, February, and in a lot of places March still to go through some cold, dreary days. And so you still got a long ways to go before you can see the end of the tunnel that might be winter for you if you absolutely hate that stuff. So yeah, that's a really good point as to why something like that does have a shorter life. I remember from our own struggles at our previous brewery trying to figure out that winter seasonal. I think we changed it like 3 times when you and I were there.
Yeah.
And trying to come up with the right amount. I remember at least the last one that we did, or that I feel like we did when we did a chocolate peppermint stout. Like we did so little of that because we knew our window of opportunity for that was so small. And we brought it out like in November, and we knew that by the time Christmas came left, no one would really care about it anymore, or at least majority of people. You always have the Bob and Toms of the world who are like, you should bring that one beer back. I loved it. And you're like, oh, I'm not brewing for you, Bob. But it's it's such a weird seasonal to work with. And I don't blame a brewery who just kind of skips it or doesn't even play into it. And they're like, you know what? Here's a hazy IPA. What's this got to do with winter? Fuck all. Like, you'll still buy it January 10th. And I don't have to worry about it fucking still being on the shelves.
And it also feels like the fall stuff fucked things up for everybody in all seasons, because people got so worn out seeing these things come out in July that it almost feels like there's this built-in mentality where, like, oh, there's this winter beer on the shelf, you guys must have put this out like 4 months ago. So in season, things kind of automatically feel old already. So when you go after season, it's like that shit is ancient.
Pumpkin even if it might shit not is be. Exhausting in October because it's been out for 2.5 months already.
Right. And listen, December 26th, you're going to walk into Walgreens or CVS or I mean, I can name big box retailers throughout this whole show, but you're going to walk into these places and what are you going to see? Valentine's Day. You're going to see all the Valentine's Day stuff on the 26th of this month because that's the seasonal creep we're used to now. All of the Christmas and Hanukkah and everything else is going to be on, at least 50% clearance. And now it's time to buy all the heart-shaped chocolates instead of the Christmas tree-shaped Reese's and all that stuff. And that's just the way it's been for a long time. And the second Valentine's Day is over, here comes Easter.
Yeah.
And then once Easter's over, we're back to pumpkin beers.
Pretty much. I think that's where we're at right now.
It's the circle of life, Simba.
Everything that the pumpkin beer touches is yours. It's funny you talk about the peanut butter cups, and our friend of the show, Kevin, from your new job at Barrel of Monks, is a peanut butter cups connoisseur and has his rankings of like the best shaped things, like with the peanut butter to chocolate ratio.
Wow.
Like which ones are the best for that. Like sometime this week, bring that up to him and
absolutely.
You'll see him go into like the XL peanut butter cup, and then the trees and the eggs and the hearts and all of that stuff. He loves
I just
that.
saw one tonight. It was a big peanut butter cup, but it had pretzels in it. So I need to see where he stands on that one. I got to get his thoughts on the one with the Reese's Pieces inside it. I mean, man, I'm going to get nothing done tomorrow. We're just going to be talking
You're
Reese's
welcome.
Pieces.
So yeah, like the winter seasonal for beer is such a weird crapshoot. Like I feel like the legacy brands, the ones that have been around for a while, tend to do a little bit better. They can come out a little bit earlier. People might not get all huffy and puffy about it. I had Celebration in early November this year and was absolutely enjoying having that. I know that like when I was living in PA, Mad Elf from Trogs was out for a little while before that, and that's a brand that's been around for a long time and is known during that season. The same with like your Sam stuff, where a newer brand might have a little bit of a harder time like getting in the door and having like success in such a small window. Like something new from Joe's Brewing Company down the street coming out November 1, you're going to get some people going, why are you bringing that out now? But that's the only way that they can try to make it work for themselves, and you can't really blame them for that. Fucking asshole. But it's always been a boggling thing to me with this season, because I love the Christmas season and I love a number of these Christmas seasonal beers. So it's always made me upset that their window of time that people seem to accept is so small compared to the rest of the seasons.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with the beers themselves. It's kind of one of those, it's not you, it's me things.
So Christmas beers are that fun ex-girlfriend that, like you want to stay friends with.
Yes. Oh God, I could say something right now, but they tried to cancel me like 8 times this year, so I'll just leave that.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention about Christmas beers, holiday season drinking, whatnot, before moving on?
Well, I'd just like to say to Miller Coors, don't forget about us in Florida next year. We need those Champagne High Life bottles. And as always, drink what you like. Don't feel compelled to have to bring the Christmas beer to the Christmas party. Continue to drink what you enjoy, what you're comfortable with, or stuff that maybe you would like to get other people enjoying as well. I honestly tend to, like I said, I love seeing those gift packs and stuff in stores, but man, liquor stores are a shit show this time of year. I mean, they are just packed and stressful, and they've got all the cool gifts and everything, but man, I don't think I've ever had a harder time in any type of store than, I've been in a Toys R Us overnight on Black Friday, and it's nowhere near as stressful as a liquor store on a random Wednesday, like the week of Christmas. So don't over stress about it. Drink what you enjoy, as always, and don't worry about what the fuck other people say. And, the best Christmas beer is the beer in your hand on Christmas.
Positive Joel is positive. And now, with that, I'm going to get negative. Because it's time for last calls. The point in the show where we give each other a nondescript amount of time to voice our opinions, whether good, bad, or in between, on whatever we want, uninterrupted, unopposed. And I'm going back to Aldi here for a second, because their cheese advent calendar has had some pretty cool new cheeses in it this year. Ones that spring to mind are black pepper and mustard, mustard Gouda, or might have been mustard cheddar, that I thought were quite nice. There was also a chive and green onion cheddar. Excellent. What isn't excellent is when you open up your day and you're greeted by something that is the same color as the Grinch, and it is called sage cheddar with pieces of sage in it that are not in nature this color. Who looked at this? I'll send you I don't have it with me, but I'll send you a picture, Joel. I'll also put it on Twitter. Who looked at this and said, yep, that's one of the ones, put it in there? And many of these cheeses repeat during this box. We've gotten the sage one once already. There aren't many days left in this calendar. If I get this sage one on the last fucking day, I'm going to be fucking pissed, Aldi. Fucking pissed. Because it looks like something that should go right in the fucking trash can. It doesn't taste like sage either. I did eat it. But there's no reason anyone should eat a neon green looking piece of cheese. Can that shit never put that in anything ever again? I'm not saying that anyone should lose their job over this, because times are hard right now. But whoever decided that sage cheddar or Gouda, whatever it was, should be in the Aldi cheese advent calendar should probably not get to choose the cheeses next year. That's all I'm saying.
Oh boy. That sounds like something I would have said. So I've got so much going on right now, so I just need to do like a little quick rapid fire on a few things real quick for my last call. Number one, thank you to everyone on the last episode. We raised $1,200 for Feeding America. You guys are amazing, and it's such a charity near and dear to my heart. So people are so fucked right now, and just God bless you all for tuning in and contributing to that. Phil, we miss you. We understand why you're not here. We hope we did an okay job without you, but just keep on keeping on, and we're here for you whenever you want to come back. Mandalorian season finale, fucking amazing. Jesus Christ, holy shit. The edible hit at just the right time when those Dark Troopers started busting ass, and then I did not expect the ending whatsoever, and man, did I have a hard time holding the tears back. And fuck, I feel like I'm forgetting 1,000 things. You can now catch me at Barrel of Monks, where I am brewing all things Belgian style. I'm very excited. I've learned more QC in the past week than I have in the last 8 years, so I'm super geeking out over that and can't wait to learn more. And for recommendations, get yourself a Blackstone griddle. They are not a sponsor of this show in any way whatsoever, but my brother moved in with us. He brought his over from his former place, and it got a little rusty being out in the South Florida humidity, and I was able to re-season it thanks to some YouTube videos. And I threw some bacon and pancakes on that son of a bitch today. We did fajitas last night. These things are fucking amazing. Didn't have to smoke out the house with bacon like I do on the weekends. And I was able to do 12 goddamn pancakes in one shot. It is a game changer. I can't recommend it enough. I don't even know if I'll ever touch that smoker I bought again.
When I get a house, griddle is definitely on the list of things to get.
Yes. And we did chicken fajitas, and I will never use chicken breast again. I did all boneless, skinless thighs, and it was unreal.
Fuck yeah, dude. Team chicken thighs.
Hell yeah.
You want to plug where people can find you?
Joel Brews on Twitter. I think I'm done with Instagram for a while, but if you feel like saying something over there that I won't see, I'm Florida Brewer there still. Haven't made eggs in a while, so Egg Symmetry is on hold. Maybe when I get them on the griddle, I'll get back to Egg Symmetry.
There you go.
And come see me at Barrel of Monks. Come drink some cool shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the griddle for the eggs. You can really then get under them easier than having to work around the sides of a pan, so you can flip them easier. You can follow me at Mike Loves Beer on both Instagram and Twitter. You can follow the show on Twitter at United We Drink and on Instagram at United We Drink Pod. Our website is unitedwedrink.com, and you can listen to us on any of the major podcast networks, wherever fine podcasts are found: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all of those fun services. So you can subscribe to the show and get brand new episodes delivered to the device of your choice every other Thursday. If you're on Apple Podcasts, if you can do us a solid for Christmas, for New Year's, for the end of fucking 2020, go over there and rate us. It literally takes a second. And if you have like 30 seconds, review us. It really helps out the show. And it would mean a lot to us if you can just send any of that love our way. If you want to support the show financially, you can visit any of our sponsors. Go into our website, unitedwedrink.com, go to the sponsors page. Maybe an AHA membership, or some wine from Wink, or some stuff from Micromatic for your at-home draft system that you want to set up for 2021. You can also buy a shirt, button, sticker at our web store, unitedwedrink.com/store. Or, you know what? If you want to donate something, our donations for Feeding America are closed, but you can still always donate stuff. So if you want to support Feeding America during a fucking terrible year that we've had, just go and do so. You don't need to tell them United We Drink sent you or anything. You can just go do something nice. Once again, thank you to everyone who supported and donated to make us get $1,200 for Feeding America. I still can't believe that fucking happened. Thank you to each and every one of you who donated. It was amazing. Thank you to our friends at Bitter Units for joining us for that and helping make that happen. Hope that you all have a very Merry Christmas. a happy new year since we won't see you before then. Let's kick 2020 to the fucking curb and get to being more positive in 2021. Joel, anything else you want to say to that?
Happy Christmas birthday to our friend Ed Roberts. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And we will see you guys in 2021. Be well.
Cheers, everybody.